This is the Seven Figure Standard Podcast, hosted by Arash and Mykie Stiller, with mindset and strategies to help you break through and create personal freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Seven Figure Standard Podcast. I'm Mykie Stiller, joined by my co-host, Arash, and we're back with another episode. Arash, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Mykie. How are you?
I'm doing great as well, and I'm excited for today's topic, which is all about authenticity. So first off, before I get into any of the questions, and I have quite a few, what do you think of when you think of authenticity?
The first thing I think of is being comfortable with yourself. I don't think anybody's authentic if they're living a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And I think authenticity is so important to create a successful life because you're in your own power. You're not trying to impress anybody. You're just yourself. And when you're just yourself, that's the best thing anybody can be. There's only one of us. I always use a stat that I see there. If we were all 1 in 13 trillion chance to be on this planet. So think about the odds that we've already overcome. Mm-hmm. Why would we want to be anybody else? And like I talk to people, and when they tell me, oh, I compare myself to you, I said, why would you compare yourself to me? There's only one me. There's only one you. And so we've talked about it on past podcasts before. The needing to be liked is so damaging to our authenticity. When we're needing to be liked, we're saying we're not good enough. Listen, if they like me, great. If they don't, great. That's their business. That's not my business. And I never put any attention on somebody who doesn't like me. If they don't like me, fine. That's great. I want to surround myself with the people who make me feel good. But nobody can make me feel good until I feel good about me. Mm-hmm. And it's so damaging when we beat ourselves up. See, we're all going to make mistakes. But we've got to ask for more help. Instead of going in a corner and beating ourselves up harder and harder and reliving the situation, why not just own it and then correct it? So let me ask you a question. Let me turn this around to you. So when you think about authenticity, what do you think about?
I was just retracing my steps backwards. And when I think of when did I start living more authentically, when did I start feeling authentically myself, it was when I started to know and like myself better. So mm-hmm. Whenever I got to know myself, whenever I was comfortable being myself and liking who I was able to be authentic. I think that everybody has certain spaces in their life that they feel more able to be authentic or more comfortable being authentic. And then there's places in their life where they probably feel like they need to or have to put on a mask or put on a show. But I think the key is feeling like you can step into your authentic self in every area of your life.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't disagree with what you're saying because I think authenticity is the effect of your own personal mastery. Mm-hmm. The more I got more comfortable with myself is the more authentic I became. Yeah. And so I always say, I always talk about a magnificent obsession of doing the deep work. And the deep work is a currency worth investing in. The reward is going to be rewarded in so many areas of our life. And we had an episode, I don't know when we did it, where we talked about proximity. But I think to live a great life, you have to fill your circle with great people. But no great person is going to be wanting to be around you if you're not authentic, if you're wearing a different mask. So what's another cause of being authentic? When you lose yourself to a cause so much greater than you, you find your greatest version of yourself. And that's what creates authenticity. You'll be around somebody, you're like, I just love their directness. I would never be able to do that. I just love that. They're direct because that's how we came into the world. I remember one day, my daughter was probably 2, and there was this gentleman working at my house. Well, he walked in the room and she said, "What are you doing at my house?" And we came into this world that direct, but somewhere along the line, it was like we were quieted. Our voice was quieted down as we started going to school. But once you commit to your personal growth, everything changes, including your authenticity. Once you get more comfortable with yourself, you're going to become more and more authentic. Haven't you noticed, like, the older people get, the more they value their time and who they spend it with?
Yeah.
They're not worried about missing out. And
You're not feeling obligated.
that's right. So every time I speak to an audience, when we're either online or in person, I get this comment all the time. You're so authentic. How do you do it? And I said, I'm just there for them. It's not for me, it's for them. So all my energy is on them. And I'm just always myself. Like, I'm very first to tell everybody the mistakes that I've made. I'm very open. My life changed when I was open to my mentor and I said, I screwed up here. This is what I did. But I always wanted to own it, so it was out of my energy.
Mm-hmm.
The person who acts like they've never made a mistake, that person who's always so polished that you don't even trust their polishedness. You're like, this is like a robot. See, they're not being the real them. And when we connect to our alternate identity, that's our instinct. That's the more authentic we're going to be. Think about this. If our dominant idea came from our alternate identity, from our instinct, and we trusted it completely, and imagine the type of results would happen. Because nothing kills more dreams than logic. Logic kills more dreams than anything else. I've got a plan to plan.
If you've ever encountered someone that has just been magnetic because they're being so authentically themselves and you just think, wow, like they have something special and I want that too. And then you see, so looking at this, like you're not the person, right? You see someone start emulating them, but it doesn't come off the same because they're not being their authentic uniqueness. They're trying to take someone else's authentic uniqueness and it doesn't wear the same. So how can you look at someone and you may admire something about them? You admire the way they do something, the way that they talk, the way they speak, the way they get things done. And you want to do that too, but do it in your own authentic way.
Well, it's a great question. You learn from them. I think Emerson wrote an essay, and in the essay he said, imitation is suicide. Mm-hmm. I want to learn from everybody. Whenever I admire somebody, I want to learn from them, but I don't want to be them. I've never wanted to be somebody else. I've never said, oh, I wish I had their life. I wish I had their income. I've never been jealous of anybody. And I'm still not jealous. I bless people, great for them, but I've always wanted to learn and study the people I admire and make those characteristics part of my characteristics in my own way. See, I can never be them. If I try to be them, it's crazy. Like, I would never try to be my mentor. I never tried to be my mentor. I remember one day I was about to go on stage and speak, and I'll never forget this. And so his stick was, I'm not very smart. He was very smart, but he'd always say that. He goes, when you start, just tell them you're not very smart. You could do this. Well, I get on stage and I didn't say any of that. And so I get off stage. He goes, you did a great job. He goes, how come you never said that? I said, because that's you, not me. And he started laughing. He said, good answer. Because that wasn't me. I do think I'm smart. So I'm never going to transfer that I don't think I'm smart, because I do think I'm smart. I think everybody's smart. I don't think anybody's not smart. I think they may not have the right disciplines. They haven't created the right standards. They haven't let go. But I believe we want to study the people. Like, there's people in all different walks of life that I admire. I admire Derek Jeter so much. Like, I admire how he carried himself. I admired when he was in the most pressurized situation, he always had a smile on his face. And you're talking about a 20-year-old kid and me watching another 20-year-old kid and him. And I remember that for the next 15 years of watching him, and I studied him. Like I studied his documentary very closely. There's different people. I admire my mentor a lot. I admired his work ethic quite a bit. I admire his service. And then I made it part of me. So that makes it your own authentic story. So that's really how you carry on that authenticity, is never trying to be somebody else. Nobody needs to be anybody else. I don't care if you're failing at the worst level right now. You still have that unbelievable potential inside that's dying to come out. And the more comfortable you become, the more successful you'll become. I remember when I earned my first million, I still think I was very insecure during that first million. I really do, looking back at it. I remember once I did that, I said, the first million is about developing the comfort in yourself. And then after that, your creativity just flows.
What do you think stops people from being authentic? What's holding them back from being authentic?
They're too worried about what other people are thinking. They don't trust themselves. They don't have a significant self-esteem. And we have to build our worthiness.
So we encourage everyone to get out of their comfort zone every single day, significantly get out of their comfort zone. How can you get uncomfortable, put yourself in uncomfortable situations while maintaining your authenticity?
You're still yourself. You've got to be in a calm, relaxed state. If you're always anxious, you're coming from pressure. You don't want to come from pressure. You want to come from standard. And you're never going to learn a thing until you do it. Nobody's going to learn anything until they experience it. But you have to make that first move. The start is the hardest part. The start is what stops everybody. Once you get started, oh, I've done it. Then you feel a big jolt in your self-respect. But every failure who became an elite performer made that move before they were ready. And then your comfort level is going to grow and grow in yourself, and your authenticity is going to grow, and you're going to lead by authenticity. Every great leader is authentic. Leadership is about being demanding, not demeaning. But a great leader will demand of their organization, of their clients, because they demand that of themselves. And they always lead with their standard. The bad leaders are the ones that are needing to be liked. They're afraid to tell somebody the truth. The reason you tell the truth is because you care so much about the other person. And that's authenticity in action.
So good. All right, let's get into an action step for today. How can someone step into their authentic self?
Well, you have to decide you're going to be you. Number one, I want you to write down the 5 people you admire the most and study them closely. And if you study them, you're going to see the reason you admire them is because they're comfortable in their own skin, and so can you. But we want to start building it one day at a time. Don't think you're going to be as authentic you're going to be 5 years from now if you're not authentic right now, if you're worried about what people are thinking. Now, everybody has authenticity in certain areas. They're authentic to certain people. I want you to be the same no matter who you're with. And when you do that, you're going to build this all the way up, and really study the people you admire, and then make that part of the things that you like about their character, make it a part of yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Arash. And if you enjoyed this episode, if you're enjoying the podcast, you would love Arash's book. Go to Amazon and type in World Class Wealth Mindset by Arash Vasugi. It's an incredible new book. We've got rave reviews. And if you don't have a copy already, I know you will love it. We'll see you next week for another episode of the 7-Figure Standard podcast. Thanks, Arash.
Thanks, Mikey.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 7-Figure Standard. We hope you found the insights and strategies helpful on your journey to success. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform to help us reach more people like you. To learn more about Arash and Mykie and how Voss Coach & Co. can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success, visit vosscoachandco.com. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of 7-Figure Standard.